A very good morning and a good new day as we again bring to you the reflections and devotions coming to you from ACK St. Peter's Embakasi. And we are always glad to have you join and share with us in the devotions and reflections on the Word of God. We are still looking at in the beginning because we are in the second month of this new year that we really thank God. And this day I'm reflecting with us on the book of Joshua and Joshua chapter 1. And from verse 1 to 9, I'll be picking on specific verses or the entire chapter. And in this reflection of in the beginning, I'm looking at Joshua because Joshua was beginning a new season in the absence of Moses. And the word of God says to Joshua, the Lord reminded Joshua that my servant Moses is dead. And therefore, Joshua was being given instructions so that he could be able to continue without the presence of Moses. But what God was saying to Joshua is that his presence will still be with him. And he says, just as I was with Moses, I will also be with you. And sometimes when we begin any process, and particularly when you're beginning a new season, we need to remember that it's still the same God who creates that season and allows us to be alive to go through that season or even go to the process of that season. And of course, you could be coming to this new season, this new year, as a new father or a new mother. You could be coming into this new season, maybe in the absence of somebody who is very significant in your life. And therefore, I will want to reflect on a few things that can help and guide us as we look at this new season, which is the year 2023. Joshua was made aware of his situation and the reality of the season that he was getting into. And in that chapter 1 and verse 2, he's told, Moses, my servant, is dead. And now then you and all the people get ready to cross the Jordan River into the land that I'm about to give you. And you could be beginning this year without something, without someone, or without significant things that you had last year. I'm aware some of us could even be beginning this year without a job. The contract was not renewed. But I would like to encourage us that even if you are beginning in the absence of some of the things that were significant, I pray that you hear the Lord telling you and reminding you that I am still your God and I am with you, and this is a new season and it is me who has begun it with you. Then it also reminds us that in this new beginning, you have sometimes had testimonies, even when you feel like the people, the things, or maybe your job or your position as you've been promoted, because sometimes even promotions gives us a new situation with its new challenges. But you have heard that, like Joshua was told, that as I was with Moses, I will also be with you. And I want to pray that God will bring to remembrance and also bring to you some of the testimonies, or remind you of the testimonies that God has given you in the past, the testimonies that other people have had in the past. And so just like Joshua was being reminded that as God was with Moses, he will also be with him, I pray that in your new season, in your new situation, in your new circumstance, it might be challenging, but remember that God has ever been with people in such situations before, and for sure, because he's a faithful God and he's a God of everyone, he will be able to lead you through. As long as, because there are certain instructions that Joshua was given. He was told that as long as you keep the laws and do everything that I have commanded you, I will definitely be with you and I will lead you, I will guide you, and I will be able to take you to the promised land. You can point at many examples and claim a lot of victories that people have had and tell the Lord that just like you did it to so-and-so, that just like you did it to so-and-so, or even to this person, even in the Word of God, then he can also do it for you. And the third thing that I reflect on with this issue of Joshua, he was told that no one will be able to stand against him all the days of his life. But then he's reminded that no matter what the Lord has promised him, but you realize that he is told to be of strength and courage. Brothers and sisters, whatever it is that you're doing, especially at the beginning, and when you're in a new season, you need strength and courage. Because in the absence of strength and courage, for fear and anxiety always sets in. And when fear sets in, it is interesting to note that, you will begin to panic. You may miss opportunities because fear and anxiety has set in. And it's also interesting to note that strength and courage are values that you must work on at a very personal level through getting knowledge, through getting understanding, and also through having skills. So as we continue in this year, I pray that the Lord will help you and me to be able to have the strength, because we know that the God that we serve is a God who is faithful. We will be courageous because we know that there are promises in the Word of God for us, and we will have the skills because we'll continuously depend on God and be trained in the righteousness. So the Bible indeed reminds us that we should be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication, and with thanksgiving, we let our requests be known to God. And my prayer to you is that we will say together with Paul as we continue in this year, because it's still new, it is still young, we will say with Paul that I can do all things this new year through Christ who gives me strength. Strength and courage is just like salvation. You are given, but you work at it. May God give you the strength and courage to continue in this new season this year.